everybody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody in 149th Street at the bench.
Today I'm going to teach you guys how to do throwies in graffiti really easily. So when we begin doing throw-ups in graffiti, we have to understand how our tag goes from just a basic print letter and transforms itself into a throw-up. And it's really simple. In tags, we begin with a line, and these lines connect to one another in order to make a letter. Now these lines right here are going to become the skeletal structure of our throwie. Well, in throwies, we're going to take that line and we're going to wrap it in a shape. We're going to use one of two shapes for that, and we're going to use either an oval or a rounded rectangle. The pick is ours. We get to choose which shape we want to use. Either one is perfectly well and fine. Both of them are considered basic. We can consider these shapes to be more so like the muscular structure within our throwie. They provide volume, but they're not really ever seen. For super amateurs, you guys who are just starting out, start off with the oval, and it allows you a little bit more room for errors, a little bit more room for mistakes. They look just as good, and they can be used to high effect. For the best of throwies, they're also easier to use. Now these shapes, these are going to be our tools in order to actually build our throwies. So how do we begin sketching our throwies? Step 1. For those of you guys that are super amateurs and brand new to graffiti, begin writing with your print letter on your lettering chart. Don't do the full name, just begin with the first letter. We're going to consider this step as your training wheels, as something that we want to move away from. We don't want to stay here, we don't want to get too used to it, we don't want to get too comfortable or dependent on writing our print letter. If you write your whole print name first, you have no idea how thick your shapes are going to be, and as a result, you won't know where to position the second, third, fourth letter of your name. So your negative space will be off, your letter weight will be off, and your letter positioning will be off. But for now, for like a week or two, this is going to work. Once we have that print letter, we're going to begin by drawing our shape, in this case our oval, around our S. Now we don't want to illustrate the entire open counter of the letter, we only want to illustrate a portion of it. That way we illustrate enough in order to actually develop that area, develop that structure, but we don't develop too much, otherwise we'll end up with a straight letter. So pick a side. Do you want to illustrate this portion, or do you want to illustrate this portion? Pick one or the other, and then begin drawing your oval around the entirety of the letter. Different sections of your S are going to overlap depending on what part of your open counter you decided to illustrate. That's a nice stylistic choice for you as well. You get to kind of choose which one you want to illustrate, and it'll change how your letter looks completely. This can be done for a variety of letters. Now in art, there's a little topic called dividing lines, and dividing lines, all it is essentially when you have a line that separates two things. In this case, this line right here separates the top of our S from the center. This line right here separates the center of our S from the bottom. Both of those lines right there are called dividing lines. That's just what they are. These dividing lines right here are really important. Let me show you why really simply. Look at how nice and deep these lines go. We're using these lines to suggest negative space, and the deeper they go, the more negative space they suggest, and the more structure we develop. If I erase a portion of those lines, it looks a lot less like an S, doesn't it? This applies to all of your open counters for pretty much all letters. In graffiti, we want to make sure that these dividing lines are nice and deep. They go into the letter a decent amount. Now for some letters, this step is completely fine. That'll finish off your entire letter. Most letters don't work that way. Most letters need step 2. This is where intermediate artists are going to begin. And amateurs, this is where you want to head to. This is where you want to start working towards pretty quickly. So this time we have the letter A. We're showing the print letter just for example's sake here, but if you're intermediate, you won't be drawing the print letter at all. Instead, you're going to begin with the ovals. So just like before, we have the ovals going around, creating the structure. That doesn't actually make the throwy letter. That's not really a throwy, that's more of a straight letter with rounded edges. To make this into a throwy, we have to suggest the structure. We have to suggest the negative space. So we have to apply a general shape on top of these ovals, which is essentially going to follow the same exact idea that we just did for the letter S. Now for amateurs and intermediates, you guys want to work towards this final step. You want to begin at the general shape. We're not really going to illustrate the inside of the open counters all too much. We're just going to pick a side to illustrate, and we're not going to illustrate the other side. So I'm going to illustrate the right hand side of this open counter, and then I'm going to go around for the rest of the A, traveling from the bowl to the bottom, to the stem, to the top. Depending on what side of the counter you decide to go ahead and illustrate, that'll dictate your overlap. Once again, the choice is yours. It's a stylistic thing. Pick what you like most. Once we've done that, you'll see that the open counter is now a lot more suggested, and now we just got to draw this little line right here in order to suggest the closed counter. And that's how you're going to go ahead and build your letters. And that's it. That's how you draw your throwie. It's that simple. There's no other steps. I can end the tutorial right here, and you would be perfectly fine. You'd be able to do throwies, any name, in graffiti, any language, doesn't matter, any alphabet, you're done, you're good, you're set to go. But if you want some more information, stick around, because there's a lot more to discuss. Some things are going to help you tweak your throwies, add style. But check it out. If you found this video useful, your mind is going to explode with our How to Do Throwies book that we have in the description down below, available for pre-order. This book has an ungodly godly amount of information about Throwies. I'm telling you, it's like a textbook. I mean, it's not like a textbook, it is a textbook all about Throwies specifically. Our previous book was already revolutionary for the graffiti community and changing how graffiti is understood and learned. This book is, it's wild, it's nuts. There's way too much information in it. I'm telling you, man, I'm very excited for it to come out. But once again, it's available for pre-order in the description down below. All of the money that we get from pre-orders is going to finishing that book off. We got Josh Graff in the book for Throwies and other amazing artists for Throwies in the book as well. We got Seer as well and plenty of you guys. Now, if you want a book that's already out, something that you can already have, something that's going to skyrocket you out of the toy phase and into the stratosphere of graffiti, check out our Ultimate Graffiti Guidebook in the description down below. It's the first book in the series, and it's already helped thousands of people learn the fundamentals of tags and how to do graffiti in general. It'll teach you all graffiti's general fundamentals, which also apply to Throwies and pieces, and it does it with hundreds of pictures. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about this book countless times. I'm not much of a salesman, but plenty of you guys have reached out to me and told me how much the book has helped you. You guys have even left it in comments on videos. It's helped everybody from brand new graffiti artists because of how easy it is to read from cover to cover and understand everything, to experienced writers who have been in the game for 10, 20, 30 years. And that's because we go into so much depth with these books that you're bound to learn something no matter your skill level. Use the coupon code LEARN, special coupon code for you guys watching the tutorial series, to get 15% off over at theartistblock.inc. That's where we have digital copies. Now, if you want a physical copy, head on over to Amazon. We also have a link to that in the description down below in order to pick up a physical copy of the Ultimate Graffiti Guidebook Part 1. Now, these general shapes are going to be applied to most of your letters. And because of that, it's important that we understand how to really use those general shapes because they're pretty malleable. And once again, they don't really have to be a one-to-one copy of your rounded rectangle and your oval that we used initially. So let's take the letter K, for example. We have a basic structure K and a variant structure K. Just as before, with our initial step, we're going to wrap each line in its own oval or rounded rectangle. And then from there, we're going to wrap this in a general shape. One of the first things you'll notice is that we made the general shape, this part of our K, shorter than the actual oval we used initially. That's completely all right. As long as we establish the arm of the K with the general shape, we're good. We're golden. We don't have to worry about anything. You'll also notice a similar thing on the leg of the K where we made it much thicker than the actual oval itself. Once again, that's completely all right. As long as you're establishing the structure, you're good to go. On the second variant structure K over here, you'll notice that this time, not only does our leg shoot inward instead of coming straight down like our oval did, we also on top of that added a big serif right over here to the side. And that's not only really common for a lot of letters, it works perfectly well. So as long as our general shape is establishing each part of a letter structure, we're good to manipulate that shape however we see fit. But that's not the only way we have freedom with our letters. We can also play around with different bottoms for our letters. Now there's a lot of common different bottoms that are applied to a variety of letters in the alphabet, and none of them are considered biting. These are essentially like copyright-free bottoms for your Throwies. Once again, this is not biting, it's not copying, but here we have our basic letter R. And we kept all the tops pretty much uniform, so we're only really paying attention to the lower half of these letters. And check out how this R is pretty much identical to our original R with the exception of that horizontal line right there. That's something you'll see really common within open counters in various letters. Even letters that you wouldn't expect a line like that to appear in. You'll see it in the letter M, for example, which letter M doesn't often have a horizontal line. Another really common bottom you'll see is this right here. Now that bottom includes an open counter and a nice defined part of structure on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side. It could be on either side. Also, I guess we should include as part of this bottom is the right-hand side as well. You'll oftentimes see this on a variety of letters, whether it's M, H, N. Plenty of letters have a piece of structure that comes down followed by a serif. From there, we move on to something a little bit more stylized, where you once again have that same open counter with structure on one side, but then you also have this really pinched structure that comes inward and gets tucked under this left-hand piece, which is usually followed up by something like a circle or any shape that you please in order to finish establishing the letter structure. And lastly, we have ourselves a more rounded open counter, which once again is pretty versatile. You'll find it on a lot of different letters, but also separate from that, you'll oftentimes see a similar thing to our previous R's, but this time the rounded structure at the bottom will overlap this right-hand line. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to create more structure, establish more structure right there, while also retaining the benefit of this piece here. Now, all of those are like little stylistic flares that you can add to the bottoms of your letters, but what about the tops of your letters? Let's take a look at a variant structure, letter E, for example. This E uses a rounded top. That's just the normal way to illustrate this particular variant structure. But we could go ahead and replace its top with different shapes. The different shapes would go ahead and drastically alter whatever letter it is that you're doing. The only thing we need to understand is variant structures, which we have a tutorial on in the description and in all the places you come to expect. If you understand variant structures, then you know that each one of these is a different variant structure of the letter E. So now it becomes clear, alright, we can just do any variant structure as a Throwie and it'll work, no problem. But can we apply these different shapes to different letters that don't have variant structures? For example, the letter O, the letter H, the letter X. And the answer is yes. Changing the tops, or really the bottoms, or any part of your letter with a different shape, just as we've done here, is a great way to introduce variety to your Throwie and add a hint of style. You'll see, for example, Gnome over on my Discord shows us a square top N. This Throwie right here also shows us a really common top for our letters that has a point and a little bit of a swoop that happens as well. This top is especially popular, and it's something you'll see plenty of in Throwies. I mean, I'm showing various different B-rolls of it now, so you can get an idea of how often you'll see that kind of sharp swoop at the top of letters. Here's another Throwie where we have an X with a square top, and we have another X with a more angular bottom, and an X with a rounded top. So that shows you can replace the tops and the bottoms of your letters with any shapes you want, as long as you're developing the structure properly. So long as you do that, you'll be perfectly fine. And of course, some other easy ways to add style, which if you've been practicing our previous tutorials, you should already be familiar with. You can lean letters, you can bend portions slightly, you can add serifs, which you'll see right here on screen. Throwies look great with serifs, and they use them very frequently, and the list goes on. So how do we apply all of this to an actual name? You could take it one letter at a time. Only after you finish the first one do you move on to the second one. Rinse, wash, and repeat, and you'll have your full name. Double check that you are using your lettering chart as well to make sure that your letters are on the baseline, mean line, cap line, and as a result, your weight will be fine, and your letter positioning won't stray too high or too low either. Now, the point we're really trying to get to is we want to be confident enough and knowledgeable enough about our letters to just begin at the generalized shape, at the final Throwie. We see how we like it, and then we try it again. Regardless, once you've gone ahead and sketched your Throwie and it's all good and ready to go, you want to make sure that your letters aren't too close together. When our letters are too close together, we run into issues like this, where now suddenly our B is covering a large portion of our O. This is all area that we can't see. We're even going as far as to cover part of our closed counter there. You'll see that the R actually gets covered a whole lot more, where not only are we covering much of the left-hand side of the R, but the O also intersects with the leg of the R, which as a result detaches this piece here from the entire top of the R, which we definitely don't want. And our closed counter that used to be here is completely overlapped, but that's easy enough to move over. However, that doesn't justify a mistake. A similar issue happens on the N, where the leg of the R now intersects with this line here on the N, cutting off the bottom of the N from the rest of the N. So instead, we want to neatly organize our letters where, yeah, sure, there's an overlap, but notice we're not overlapping the closed counter anymore. The O isn't intersecting with this line anymore, nor is this part of the R intersecting with this line of the N. As a result of that, all of the R is connected and all of the N is connected. On the flip side, we also don't want to push the letters too far away, because then we start to make things look a little bit more disjointed, we lose flow, and our name feels less cohesive as a result. You'll see in this example, this time, we have too much space between letters, and now we have a buildup of negative space in certain areas where we really shouldn't be having as much negative space as we do. So tuck those letters in, make sure they're nice and tight, but not too tight, and your name will be good to go. That pretty much wraps up today's video, dudes. Let me know if it helped you guys out in the comments down below, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave it down there as well. I'll be in my comment section answering as many of you guys back as possible. And don't forget about the Ultimate Graffiti Guidebook down below as well. If you want to jumpstart your graffiti, if you want to level up quick and you want to get out of that toy phase, this is the book to help you do it. We also have pre-orders available for the sequel to that book in the description down below if you want to level up your Throwies and really just that book is ridiculous with the amount of information it has. I can't wait for this book to come out. It's gonna be crazy how much it changes Throwies. Now, if you want to binge the tutorial series, we have the updated one that we're still currently putting videos out for right up here, with the old tutorial series right down here. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you back here next week.